The small town of Willow Creek was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone else's business, or so they thought. At the edge of town, in a quaint yellow house with a white picket fence, lived Eleanor Grayson, a cheerful widow in her late 50s who was beloved for her homemade pies and warm smiles. Next door, in a slightly shabbier blue cottage, lived Clara Hensley, a quiet woman in her 30s who had moved to Willow Creek 2 years ago. Clara was reserved but kind, often seen tending to her garden or reading on her porch. To the townsfolk, the two women were the perfect picture of neighborly harmony. Eleanor, the nurturing mother figure, and Clara, the grateful friend. But beneath the surface, something darker simmered. "Morning, Clara dear." Eleanor chirps, her voice as warm as the muffins. "You look like you haven't slept a wink. Everything okay?" Clara forces a smile. "Just a rough night, Eleanor. Thanks for the muffins." "You're too kind." Eleanor steps inside, uninvited but confident, her eyes scanning the cluttered living room.
"Oh, nonsense.
"I've got to look after you. You're practically family now." Clara's smile tightens. "You're too good to me," she says, but her tone carries a faint edge. The conversation shifts to small talk about the upcoming town festival, but Clara seems distracted, her eyes darting to a stack of unopened letters on her coffee table. Eleanor notices but doesn't comment, instead offering to help Clara with her garden later. Clara agrees reluctantly, and Eleanor leaves with a wave, promising to return. As soon as the door closes, Clara slumps against it, her breath shaky. She crosses to the coffee table, picks up one of the letters, and tears it open. Her hands tremble as she reads. The letter is brief, typed in cold, impersonal font. "You can't hide forever. I know what you did." Clara's face drains of color. She crumples the letter and stuffs it into her pocket, muttering, "Not again." The narrative flashes back to 6 months earlier, when Clara first moved to Willow Creek. She had arrived with little more than a suitcase and a haunted look in her eyes. Eleanor had been the first to welcome her, bringing casseroles and offering to introduce her to the town. At first, Clara was grateful, but over time, Eleanor's constant presence, her unannounced visits, her questions about Clara's past, began to feel suffocating. The town festival is in full swing, with colorful banners strung across Main Street and the smell of cotton candy in the air. Clara attends, hoping to blend in and shake off her unease. She's chatting with a local baker, Sarah, when Eleanor approaches, her arm linked with another neighbor, Tom, a gruff but kind mechanic. "Clara, there you are," Eleanor calls, her voice carrying over the music. "I was just telling Tom how you're settling in so well. Isn't she a gem, Tom?" Tom nods, his eyes warm. "Sure is. You ever need your car fixed, Clara, I'm your guy." Clara smiles, but her eyes flicker to Eleanor, who's watching her closely. "Thanks, Tom. I'll keep that in mind." Eleanor steers the conversation, asking Clara about her plans for the winter. Clara answers vaguely, mentioning she might take a trip. Eleanor's smile falters. "A trip? Oh, you didn't mention that before. Where to?" Clara hesitates. "Just somewhere quiet. Haven't decided." Sarah, sensing the tension, changes the subject, but Eleanor's eyes linger on Clara, sharp and probing. The festival continues, but Clara feels exposed, like every laugh and glance is directed at her. She excuses herself and slips away, heading toward the edge of town where the crowd thins. At home, Clara finds another letter slipped under her door. This one reads, "You think you're safe, but I see everything." Her heart races as she locks the door and checks every window. She calls her only friend from her old life, Mia, who lives hundreds of miles away. "Mia, it's happening again," Clara whispers into the phone. "The letters. Someone knows." Mia's voice is steady but concerned. "Clara, you need to tell someone." "The police? Maybe. You can't keep running." "I can't go to the police," Clara snaps. "You know why." Mia sighs. "Then what? You're just going to let this eat you alive? Whoever's doing this, they're messing with your head." Clara hangs up, her mind racing. She remembers the night she left her old life, a night filled with secrets she's desperate to keep buried. The chapter reveals a flashback. Clara in a dimly lit apartment, packing frantically as sirens wail in the distance. She burns a photograph of herself with a man whose face is obscured, whispering, "I'm sorry." Back in the present, Clara decides to confront Eleanor. She marches to her neighbor's house, but when Eleanor answers, her face is all concern. "Clara, what's wrong? You look terrified." Clara falters, her resolve weakening. "Have you seen anyone around my house? Someone leaving letters?" Eleanor's eyes widen. "Letters? Oh, honey, no. But I'll keep an eye out. You poor thing." She pulls Clara into a hug, but Clara stiffens, sensing something off in Eleanor's tone. Clara becomes obsessed with uncovering who's sending the letters. She installs a cheap security camera outside her house, but it captures nothing unusual, just Eleanor watering her plants or walking her dog. Still, Clara can't shake the feeling that Eleanor is involved. The older woman's constant presence, her questions, her too-perfect kindness, it all feels like a mask. One evening, Clara visits the town library, hoping to dig into Eleanor's past. She chats with the librarian, Mrs. Carter, who's lived in Willow Creek her whole life. "Eleanor's always been a saint," Mrs. Carter says, adjusting her glasses. "Lost her husband years ago, poor thing. She's been lonely since. That's why she's so fond of you, Clara." Clara nods, but her mind races. Did she ever seem different? Like she was hiding something? Mrs. Carter frowns. Hiding? No, not Eleanor. Though she did have a falling out with her sister years back. Never talks about her. Why do you ask? Clara brushes it off, but the seed is planted. Back home, she searches online for Eleanor's sister, finding a single obituary for a woman named Margaret Grayson, who died under mysterious circumstances a decade ago. The article is vague, but it mentions Eleanor as the sole surviving family member. That night, Clara dreams of a shadowy figure standing over her bed, whispering her name. She wakes in a cold sweat, her phone buzzing with a text from an unknown number. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." Terrified, Clara calls Tom, the mechanic, hoping for an ally. They meet at a quiet diner, where Clara confides in him about the letters. Tom leans forward, his voice low. "You think Eleanor's behind this?" "I don't know," Clara admits. "But she's always there, watching me. It's like she knows too much." Tom rubs his chin. "Eleanor's nosy, sure. But threatening letters? That's a stretch. Still, I'll poke around, see what I can find." Clara thanks him, but as she leaves the diner, she notices Eleanor's car parked across the street. The older woman waves, smiling, but Clara's stomach twists. Was Eleanor following her? Clara's fear turns to desperation. She stops sleeping, her days consumed by paranoia. She avoids Eleanor but can't escape her. Eleanor shows up with soup when Clara misses the town book club or leaves cookies on her doorstep. Each gesture feels like a taunt. One afternoon, Clara catches Eleanor in her backyard, claiming she was checking the fence for damage. Clara snaps. "Eleanor, why are you always here?" she demands, her voice shaking. "I need space." Eleanor's face crumples, but her eyes are cold. "I'm just trying to help, Clara. You're so alone. I thought we were friends." Clara softens, guilt creeping in. "I'm sorry. I'm just stressed." Eleanor pats her arm. "I understand, dear.
But you can trust me.
Always." The conversation leaves Clara conflicted. Is Eleanor genuinely kind, or is she playing a game? That night, Clara searches Eleanor's name again, finding an old forum post from a nearby town. It's anonymous but mentions a controlling woman named Eleanor who drove her sister to ruin. The post is cryptic, but it fuels Clara's suspicions. Clara confides in Sarah, the baker, who's hesitant but agrees to help. They sneak into Eleanor's house during a rare moment when she's out, searching for clues. In Eleanor's attic, they find a locked box. Sarah picks the lock, revealing a collection of old letters, some addressed to Margaret, Eleanor's sister, in Eleanor's handwriting. The letters are bitter, accusing Margaret of betrayal. One chilling line reads, "You'll pay for what you took from me." Clara's heart pounds. This is her. She's done this before. Sarah looks uneasy. "We shouldn't be here, Clara. Let's go." As they leave, Clara notices a photo on Eleanor's mantle, a younger Eleanor with a woman who looks eerily like Clara. The resemblance is uncanny, and Clara's blood runs cold. That night, Clara confronts Eleanor at her door. "Who is the woman in the photo? The one who looks like me?" Eleanor's smile is tight. "Just an old friend, dear. You remind me of her." Clara doesn't believe her but retreats, her mind spinning. Clara is unraveling. She stopped leaving her house, her fear consuming her. Tom checks in, revealing he's asked around about Eleanor. Some folks say she's harmless, but others, they think she's got secrets. Her sister's death was never fully explained. Clara shows Tom the Polaroid. His face pales. "This is bad, Clara. You need to get out of here." But Clara refuses to run again. She's tired of hiding. She decides to set a trap, leaving her back door unlocked and pretending to sleep. She hides a kitchen knife under her pillow, her heart pounding as she waits. Hours pass in silence. Then, a creak. Someone's in the house. Clara grips the knife, her breath shallow. A shadow moves in the hallway, and Clara leaps up, shouting, "I know it's you." The figure steps into the light. It's Eleanor, holding a flashlight and a small notebook. She looks startled but recovers quickly. "Clara, I heard a noise. I was worried."
Clara doesn't buy it.
"What's in the notebook?" Eleanor hesitates, then laughs. "Just my gardening notes." "You're so jumpy, dear." Clara lunges, grabbing the notebook. Inside are detailed entries about her schedule, her habits, even what she eats. Clara's voice trembles. "You've been watching me." "Why?" Eleanor's face hardens, her kindness gone. "You're just like her. Margaret. She took everything from me, and you're no different." Clara backs away, the knife in her hand. "What did you do to her?" Eleanor steps closer, her voice low.
She got what she deserved.
"And so will you." Clara stands frozen, the kitchen knife trembling in her hand, facing Eleanor, who clutches the notebook tightly. The older woman's face is no longer warm and motherly. Her eyes are cold, calculating. "Put the knife down, Clara," Eleanor says, her voice low and steady. "You don't want to make this worse." Clara's heart pounds. "Why are you doing this?" "The letters, the photo. You're trying to scare me." Eleanor steps closer, unfazed. "Scare you?" "Oh, dear, I'm just trying to help you. You're so lost, just like Margaret was." Clara backs toward the kitchen counter, her voice shaking. "Stop talking about Margaret. Tell me the truth. Did you kill her?" Eleanor's smile is thin, almost pitying. "You're asking the wrong questions, Clara. The truth is, you're not as innocent as you pretend to be." Before Clara can respond, a loud knock at the door startles them both. It's Tom, the mechanic, his voice urgent. "Clara? You okay in there?" Eleanor's expression shifts to panic for a split second before she smooths it over. "Answer the door, Clara. But be careful what you say." Clara hesitates, then opens the door, keeping the knife hidden behind her back. Tom steps inside, his eyes narrowing as he sees Eleanor. "What's going on here?" "Nothing," Eleanor says quickly, her voice sweet again. "Just a little misunderstanding. Clara's been under stress." Tom looks at Clara, who shakes her head slightly. "She's lying, Tom. She's been stalking me. Look at this." Clara thrusts the notebook at him, her hands trembling. Tom flips through it, his face darkening as he reads the detailed notes about Clara's life. "Eleanor, what the hell is this?" Eleanor shrugs, unconvincing. "Just keeping an eye on my neighbor. Someone has to." Tom grabs Clara's arm gently. "You're coming with me. This ain't right." As they leave, Clara glances back at Eleanor, who stands motionless, her eyes glinting with something unreadable. At Tom's house, Clara explains everything: the letters, the Polaroid, the eerie resemblance to the woman in Eleanor's photo. Tom listens, his jaw tight. "We need to go to the police," he says finally. This is beyond creepy. Clara shakes her head. I can't. There's things in my past. They'll ask questions I can't answer. Tom frowns but doesn't push.
Fine.
But you're not staying alone tonight. You can crash here. That night, Clara sleeps fitfully on Tom's couch, haunted by nightmares of Eleanor standing over her with a knife. She wakes to find another letter slipped under Tom's door. You can't trust him either. Her blood runs cold. Is Eleanor watching her even now, or is someone else involved? Clara's paranoia deepens. The new letter suggests that Tom, her only ally, might not be trustworthy. She confronts him over breakfast, her voice tense. Tom, be honest with me, she says, holding up the letter. Are you involved in this? Tom's eyes widen. Clara, no way. I'm trying to help you. Where'd this come from? Someone slid it under your door last night, she says, watching his reaction closely. Tom runs a hand through his hair, frustrated. This is insane. Eleanor's messing with your head, trying to turn you against me. Clara wants to believe him, but doubt gnaws at her. She decides to dig deeper into Eleanor's past, hoping to uncover the truth about Margaret. She visits the library again, this time finding an old newspaper article about Margaret's death. It mentions a fire at her home, ruled accidental, but a neighbor quoted in the article hints at foul play, saying, Eleanor was always jealous of her sister. Clara calls Mia again, her voice shaking. Mia, I think Eleanor killed her sister. And now she's after me because I look like her. Mia's voice is sharp. Clara, you need to get out of that town.
Now.
I can't keep running, Clara says. I need to end this. Mia sighs. Then, be careful. If she's as dangerous as you think, she won't stop. Clara returns to Willow Creek, determined to confront Eleanor again, but she's interrupted by Sarah, the baker, who looks nervous. Clara, I heard you were at Tom's last night. People are talking. They think you're unstable. Clara's stomach drops. What? Who's saying that? Sarah hesitates. Eleanor's been telling folks you're paranoid, that you're making things up. She's got half the town feeling sorry for her. Clara's anger flares. She storms to Eleanor's house, banging on the door. Eleanor answers, her face a mask of concern. Clara, dear, you look upset. Come in, let's talk. Clara refuses to step inside. Stop lying to everyone. I know you're behind the letters. I know about Margaret. Eleanor's eyes flash, but she keeps her voice calm. You're not well, Clara. Let me help you. Clara turns to leave, but Eleanor grabs her wrist, her grip surprisingly strong. Don't make me do something we'll both regret, she whispers. Clara yanks free and runs home, locking the door. She finds another letter waiting. You're running out of time. Clara's isolation grows as whispers spread through Willow Creek. Neighbors avoid her, and even Sarah seems distant. Desperate for answers, Clara decides to search Eleanor's house again, this time alone. She waits until Eleanor leaves for the market, then slips inside through an unlocked window. The house feels oppressive, filled with the scent of lavender and old secrets. In Eleanor's bedroom, Clara finds a hidden drawer containing a locket with a photo of Margaret, and another of Clara, taken recently, without her knowledge. Clara's heart races. Why does Eleanor have this? She also finds a journal, its pages filled with Eleanor's handwriting. The entries detail her obsession with Margaret, her rage at being overshadowed, and her belief that Clara is Margaret reborn. One entry chills Clara to the bone. She's back to take what's mine, but I'll make sure she doesn't win this time. Clara's phone buzzes, a text from Tom. Meet me at the garage. Found something. She hurries to meet him, clutching the journal. At the garage, Tom shows her an old photo he found at his attic from a town event years ago. It shows Eleanor with Margaret, and a man who looks strikingly like the one from Clara's burned photograph. Who is he? Clara asks, her voice trembling. Tom shakes his head. No idea, but Eleanor was close to him. Maybe he's the key. Clara reveals the journal, and Tom's face pales as he reads. She's unhinged, Clara. We need to show this to the police. But Clara hesitates, haunted by her own past. A flashback reveals more. Clara fleeing a city apartment after a violent argument with the man in the photo. She stole something from him, documents, money, something dangerous, and she's been running ever since. That night, Clara returns home to find her front door ajar. Inside, Eleanor sits at her kitchen table, a cup of tea in hand, smiling. "You've been busy, Clara," she says. "Digging into things you shouldn't." Clara grips the journal, her voice steady despite her fear. "I know what you did to Margaret. And I'm not her." Eleanor's smile fades. "You're more like her than you know. And you'll end the same way." Clara bolts for the door, but Eleanor is faster, blocking her path. The older woman's face is calm, almost serene, but her eyes burn with malice. "You can't leave, Clara," she says. "Not until we finish this." Clara's voice shakes. "Finish what? I didn't do anything to you." Eleanor steps closer, the knife catching the light. "You took him from me, just like Margaret did." Clara's mind races, piecing it together. The man in the photo, Eleanor's obsession, Margaret's lover, the one Clara fled from. "You mean Daniel?" she blurts, using the name from her past. Eleanor freezes, her face twisting. "How do you know his name?" Clara seizes the moment, backing toward the kitchen. "He was my boyfriend. I left him 2 years ago. Whatever he did to you, it's not my fault." Eleanor's laugh is sharp, bitter. "Not your fault. You stole his heart, just like Margaret. And then you came here, to my town, to taunt me." Clara realizes Eleanor's delusion. She believes Clara is part of a twisted pattern, a reincarnation of her sister's betrayal. She lunges for the back door, but Eleanor grabs her, the knife grazing Clara's arm. Clara screams, shoving Eleanor away and running outside. She sprints to Tom's house, banging on the door. Tom pulls her inside, alarmed by the blood on her arm. "What happened?" "It's Eleanor," Clara gasps. "She tried to kill me. She thinks I'm her sister." Tom grabs his phone to call the police, but Clara stops him.
No.
"If they dig into my past, I'm done. Daniel, he's dangerous. I stole from him. He's probably the one sending the letters to flush me out." Tom's eyes narrow. "You're not telling me everything, Clara. What did you take?" Clara hesitates, then confesses.
Money. Documents.
"He was into bad stuff, drugs, maybe worse. I thought I could start over here." Tom sighs. "Okay, no police. But we need to stop Eleanor." They devise a plan to confront Eleanor with a journal, hoping to record her confession. The storm rages as Clara and Tom approach Eleanor's house. Clara's heart pounds, but she's done running. They knock, and Eleanor opens the door, her face unreadable. "Come in," she says, as if expecting them. "Let's end this." Inside, the air is thick with tension. Clara holds up the journal, her phone recording in her pocket. "We know everything, Eleanor. About Margaret, about your obsession with Daniel. It's over." Eleanor laughs, a chilling sound. "You think you're so clever, but you don't know the half of it." Tom steps forward, his voice firm. "We're turning this journal over to the sheriff. You're done terrorizing Clara." Eleanor's eyes flick to Tom, and for a moment, Clara sees doubt in his face. The letter's warning, "You can't trust him either," echoes in her mind. Before she can react, Eleanor lunges, knocking the journal from Clara's hand. Tom tackles her, pinning her to the floor, but Eleanor's strength is surprising. She claws at him, screaming, "You're all against me." Clara grabs the journal and runs outside, rain soaking her as she dials 911. The police arrive quickly, arresting Eleanor, who rants about betrayal and Margaret. As she's led away, she locks eyes with Clara. "This isn't over," she hisses. "He's coming for you." At the station, Clara gives a partial statement, avoiding details about her past. The journal and notebook are enough to hold Eleanor, but the police are curious about Clara's connection to Daniel. She deflects, promising to cooperate later. Back at Tom's, Clara packs to leave Willow Creek. Tom tries to stop her. "You don't have to run, Clara. We can figure this out." Clara shakes her head. "You don't understand. Daniel's out there. If he's behind the letters, he'll find me." Tom grabs her hand. Then let me help you. You're not alone. Clara pulls away, her eyes wet. I can't trust anyone. Not anymore. Clara's car hums along a deserted highway, the unopened letter on the passenger seat taunting her. The word Daniel stares back, a reminder of the life she's been running from. Rain streaks the windshield, and the dawn light casts eerie shadows. Clara's hands grip the wheel tightly, her mind racing. Is Daniel behind the letters, or was Eleanor working alone? And why did Tom seem so uneasy in their final moments? She pulls into a gas station, her nerves frayed. As she fills the tank, she opens the letter, her hands shaking. It's typed like the others. You can't outrun me, Clara. I know where you are. Always. Her breath catches. She scans the empty lot, feeling eyes on her. A trucker at the next pump glances her way, and she flinches, hurrying back to her car. At a diner nearby, Clara calls Mia, her only lifeline. Mia, it's Daniel. He's found me, she whispers, her voice breaking. Mia's tone is urgent. Clara, where are you? You need to go to the police. Now. I can't, Clara says, her voice low. If they dig into my past, they'll find out what I did. I stole from him, Mia. Money, documents, enough to ruin him. He'll kill me for it. Mia pauses. Then come to me. I'm in Chicago. You'll be safe here. Clara agrees, but as she hangs up, she notices a man at the counter watching her. He's tall, with a scar on his jaw, and his stare feels too deliberate. She leaves quickly, her heart pounding. Back on the road, a flashback reveals more of Clara's past. 2 years ago, she lived with Daniel, a charming but dangerous man involved in shady deals. One night, she found a ledger in his office, names, dates, and transactions tied to a criminal network. Terrified, she took it, along with a stash of cash, and fled. Now, she wonders if Daniel's been tracking her all along, using Eleanor to torment her. Clara stops at a motel for the night, unable to drive further. She checks the locks twice, clutching the knife she's kept since Willow Creek. As she drifts to sleep, she hears a faint knock. She freezes, listening. Silence. Then a note slides under the door. I'm closer than you think. Clara bolts upright, the note crumpled in her hand. She peers through the motel window, but sees only darkness. Grabbing her bag, she flees to her car, driving toward Chicago with no plan but survival. Her phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. You can't hide, Clara. She throws the phone onto the seat, her panic rising. In Chicago, Clara meets Mia at a crowded coffee shop. Mia, a no-nonsense woman with short hair and a sharp gaze, pulls Clara into a hug. You look like hell, she says. Tell me everything. Clara hesitates, then spills the story. Eleanor's obsession, the letters, Daniel's shadow looming over her. Mia's face hardens. This Daniel guy, he's the real threat, not Eleanor. She was just a pawn. Clara frowns. A pawn? But she tried to kill me. Mia leans in. Think about it. Someone fed Eleanor your info, made her think you were Margaret. Who else knew you were in Willow Creek? Clara's blood runs cold. Only Daniel knew her new identity. You think he's manipulating her? Mia nods. He's playing a long game. You need to disappear, Clara. New name, new city. But Clara's tired of running. I want to fight back. I need to find him. Mia sighs, handing her a burner phone.
Fine.
But we do this smart. I've got a friend, Jake, who's a private investigator. He can dig into Daniel. That night, Clara stays at Mia's apartment, but her unease grows. She notices a car parked across the street, its driver obscured. She tells Mia, who brushes it off. You're paranoid, Clara. Get some rest. But Clara can't shake the feeling of being watched. She slips out to confront the driver, her knife hidden in her sleeve. The car speeds away before she reaches it, but she catches a glimpse of the man inside, scar on his jaw, just like the guy at the diner. Back at Mia's, Clara searches online for Daniel, finding nothing but dead ends. Then, she stumbles on an old article about a fire in Willow Creek, mentioning a man named Daniel Carter, who is questioned but never charged. Her heart stops. It's him. Clara grabs the knife, her pulse racing as the footsteps grow louder. The door swings open. It's Mia, looking frantic. Clara, you okay? I want to get coffee and saw someone outside. Clara shows her the letter, her voice trembling.
He's here, Mia.
Daniel. Mia's eyes widen. We're leaving.
Now.
They pack quickly, heading to Jake's office. Jake, a gruff man in his 40s, listens to Clara's story, his brow furrowed. This Daniel sounds like bad news. I'll run his name, see what I can find. But you need to lay low. Jake's search reveals Daniel Carter's criminal history, money laundering, extortion, a string of aliases. He's been off the grid for years, but Jake finds a recent photo from a security camera in Chicago. It's the man with the scar. He's been following you, Jake says. And he's good at staying invisible. Clara's stomach twists. What about Eleanor? Was she working for him? Jake shrugs. Maybe. Or maybe she was just crazy, and he used her to mess with you. Clara remembers Eleanor's journal, the obsession with Margaret. No, she believed I was her sister. Someone fed her that idea. Jake agrees to set a trap for Daniel, using Clara as bait. They spread word that Clara's hiding in a remote cabin outside Chicago, hoping to lure him out. Clara's terrified but determined. I'm done running, she tells Mia. At the cabin, Clara waits alone, a hidden camera recording. Jake and Mia monitor from a van nearby. Hours pass in silence, then a car pulls up. The man with the scar steps out, his face cold. Clara's breath catches as he knocks. Clara, he calls, his voice smooth but menacing. Open the door. We need to talk. Clara grips the knife, her voice steady. Why are you doing this, Daniel? He laughs. You took something that belongs to me. I want it back. Clara stalls, hoping Jake's team is ready. The ledger? It's gone. I burned it. Daniel's voice hardens. You're lying. Open the door, or I'll break it down. Before Clara can respond, Jake's team moves in, tackling Daniel. He fights back, but they subdue him. Clara collapses, relief washing over her. But as Daniel's led away, he smirks. This isn't over, Clara. You'll see. Clara's relief is short-lived. Daniel's in custody, but the note suggests another threat. She shows it to Jake, who's skeptical. Could be a bluff, he says. Guys like Daniel love mind games. But Clara's not convinced. She returns to Mia's apartment, searching the ledger she kept hidden in her bag. It's still there, its pages filled with cryptic codes and names. One name stands out. Eleanor Grayson. Clara gasps. Was Eleanor more than a pawn? She calls Tom in Willow Creek, her voice urgent. Tom, I need to know about Eleanor. Did she ever mention Daniel? Tom hesitates. Not directly. But she talked about a man who broke her heart, someone Margaret stole from her. Could be him. Clara's mind races. Eleanor's obsession, the letters, the photo, it all ties back to Daniel. But who wrote the latest note? She digs deeper, finding an old email on Mia's computer from an anonymous sender, warning Clara to leave Willow Creek months ago. Mia claims she never saw it, but Clara's trust wavers. That night, Clara dreams of Eleanor, her voice echoing. You're just like her. She wakes to find Mia gone again, a new note on the table. Check the basement. Clara's heart pounds. Mia's building has no basement. She calls Jake, who arrives quickly. They search the apartment, finding a hidden compartment under the floorboards. Inside is a box containing photos of Clara, Margaret, and Daniel, along with a letter in Eleanor's handwriting. He promised me revenge. He lied. Clara's head spins. Daniel used Eleanor to get to me, but someone else is still out there. Jake nods. Someone close. We need to flush them out. They set another trap, leaking that Clara's found the ledger's key, a lie to draw the real mastermind. Clara waits at a park, the ledger in her bag, as Jake's team watches. A figure approaches, Sarah, the baker from Willow Creek. Sarah? Clara gasps. What are you doing here? Sarah's smile is cold. You should have stayed gone, Clara. Clara stares at Sarah, the gun steady in her hand. Why, Sarah? What did I do to you? Sarah's laugh is bitter. You really don't know? Daniel wasn't just your boyfriend.
He was mine, too.
You took him, just like Margaret did with Eleanor. Clara's mind reels. I didn't know. I left him because he was dangerous. Sarah steps closer, her voice low.
He sent me to watch you.
The letters, the photo, that was me keeping you scared. Eleanor was easy to manipulate. She thought you were Margaret. But I'm the one who wanted you gone. Clara backs away, stalling. You don't have to do this. We can end it now. Sarah shakes her head. You have the ledger. Give it to me, or you're dead. Clara tosses the bag, hoping to distract her. As Sarah reaches for it, Jake's team moves in, but Sarah fires, grazing Clara's shoulder. Chaos erupts as Jake tackles Sarah, disarming her. Clara collapses, blood seeping through her shirt. At the hospital, Clara recovers, piecing together the truth. Sarah was Daniel's accomplice, using Eleanor's grief to torment Clara while keeping her own motives hidden. The ledger, now with the police, exposes Daniel's network, ensuring he'll stay behind bars. Mia visits, guilt in her eyes. I should have protected you better, Clara. Clara squeezes her hand. You did enough. I'm free now. But as Clara prepares to leave Chicago, a final letter arrives, slipped into her bag. You'll never be free. No signature, no clue. Clara burns it, her face hard. She's done running, but the shadow of her past lingers. Clara's bus rumbles through the night, heading toward a small coastal town called Havenport, where she hopes to start over. The burned letter's words, "You'll never be free," haunt her, but she pushes them down, determined to rebuild. Her shoulder aches from Sarah's gunshot, a reminder of how close she came to death. The ledger is with the police, Daniel and Sarah are in custody, and Eleanor is locked away, yet Clara feels no peace. Someone else is out there, she's sure of it. In Havenport, Clara rents a tiny apartment above a bookstore, using cash to stay off the grid. The owner, a kind older man named Henry, notices her wariness, but doesn't pry. You look like you're carrying the world, he says, handing her the keys. This town's quiet. Might do you good. Clara forces a smile. I hope so. She settles in, taking a job at a local diner to blend in. But her first shift is uneasy. She catches a customer staring, a woman with sharp eyes and a too-friendly smile. Clara brushes it off, but when she returns home, a new letter waits under her door. Welcome to Havenport. Her heart stops. How did they find her so fast? Clara calls Jake, the private investigator, her voice shaking. It's happening again, Jake. Another letter. Jake's tone is grim. Clara, you need to come back to Chicago. We can protect you.
No, she snaps.
I'm done hiding. I need to know who's doing this. Jake sighs. I'll dig deeper into Daniel's network. Someone's still active. Stay sharp. That night, Clara dreams of Daniel's face, his smirk promising revenge. She wakes to a noise outside, a rustling in the alley below. Peering out, she sees a shadow slip away. She grabs her knife, her old companion, and checks the locks. The next morning, she visits Henry, hoping for local insight. Anyone strange been around? She asks, keeping her tone casual. Henry frowns. Not that I've seen. But folks here keep to themselves. You okay, Clara? She nods, not wanting to alarm him. But as she leaves, she notices the same woman from the diner watching from across the street. Clara's gut twists. Is this another Eleanor, another Sarah? Clara's paranoia returns full force. She keeps the photo hidden, not trusting anyone in Havenport. At the diner, she watches the woman, mid-40s, blonde, always sitting in the corner booth with a coffee she barely drinks. Clara dubs her corner lady and decides to confront her. She approaches the booth, her voice steady. You've been watching me.
Why?
The woman looks up, surprised but calm. You're new here. I'm just curious. Name's Lila.
Clara doesn't buy it.
You left me a photo. A letter. What do you want? Lila's smile fades. I don't know what you're talking about. But you seem scared. Want to tell me why? Clara hesitates, then walks away, her instincts screaming not to trust her. She calls Mia, who's skeptical. Clara, you're seeing threats everywhere. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
It's not, Clara insists.
Someone followed me here. They know too much. Mia pauses. Okay, I'm coming to Havenport. We'll figure this out together. Clara agrees, but her unease grows. She digs into Lila's background, asking Henry about her. He shrugs. Lila's been here a few years. Keeps to herself. Runs a thrift shop down the street. Clara visits the thrift shop, pretending to browse. Lila watches her closely, her smile too tight. Looking for something special? She asks. Just looking, Clara says, noticing a locked door at the back. Her gut tells her something's off. That night, she sneaks back, picking the lock, a skill from her days with Daniel. Inside, she finds a box of old photos, some of Daniel, others of a younger Lila with him. Clara's breath catches. Lila was part of Daniel's world. She's about to leave when Lila appears, holding a bat. You shouldn't be here, Clara, she says, her voice cold. Clara backs away. You knew Daniel. Are you working for him? Lila laughs. Daniel? He's nothing now. But you're your problem. Clara runs, narrowly escaping as Lila swings the bat. She hides in an alley, her heart pounding. Mia arrives in Havenport, finding Clara shaken but determined. They meet at the diner, where Clara shows her the photos. Lila's connected to Daniel, Clara says. She's the one sending the letters. Mia's eyes narrow. We need proof. Let's go to Jake. They call Jake, who's uncovered more about Daniel's network. Lila Morgan, he says. She was Daniel's right hand before you, Clara. She disappeared after you took the ledger. She's got a grudge. Clara's stomach twists. She's here, Jake. She knows where I live. Jake's voice is urgent. Get out of Havenport. I'm sending a guy to help. His name's Nate. Ex-cop, trustworthy. Nate arrives that evening, a quiet man with sharp eyes. He listens to Clara's story, his face unreadable. We'll set a trap, he says. Lila's not working alone. Someone's bankrolling her. Clara frowns. Who? Nate shrugs. Could be someone from Daniel's network. The ledger named Big Players. They want it back, or you dead. They plan to lure Lila to the bookstore, using Clara as bait. Clara leaves a fake note at the thrift shop, claiming she's meeting someone with the ledger. That night, she waits in the bookstore, Nate and Mia hidden nearby. The door creaks open, and Lila steps inside, her eyes gleaming. You're predictable, Clara, Lila says, pulling a knife. Where's the ledger? Clara stalls, her phone recording.
Why do you want it?
Daniel's in jail. Lila laughs. Daniel was a pawn, just like Eleanor. The real boss wants you gone. Before Clara can ask more, Nate tackles Lila, but she fights back, slashing his arm. Mia pulls Clara to safety as Nate subdues Lila, tying her hands. They call the police, but Lila's words echo. The real boss. Lila's arrest brings no relief. Clara, Mia, and Nate regroup at the bookstore, poring over the ledger's codes. Clara's shoulder throbs, but her resolve is steel. We need to find the real boss, she says. They're not stopping. Nate decodes a name in the ledger. Victor Kane, a shadowy figure linked to Daniel's network. Kane's a ghost, Nate says. No photos, no address. But he's got money and reach. Clara remembers a name Daniel mentioned once, Victor. He's the one who scared Daniel, she says. If he's after me, I'm dead. Mia grabs her hand. We'll find him first. They track Kane's last known associate, a lawyer named Paul Reed, who lives in a nearby city. Clara and Nate visit Reed's office, posing as clients. Reed, a nervous man with darting eyes, denies knowing Kane. But Clara notices a photo on his desk, Reed with a man who matches Daniel's description of Victor. Tall, gray hair, cold eyes. You're lying, Clara says, her voice sharp. I know Victor sent Lila. Reed pales. You don't understand. He'll kill me. Nate leans in. Talk, or we go to the cops with the ledger. Reed cracks, admitting Victor hired him to track Clara after she stole the ledger. He used Eleanor, Sarah, Lila, anyone to get to you. He wants the ledger to protect his empire. Clara's heart races. Where is he? Reed shakes his head. I don't know. He finds you. That night, Clara returns to Havenport, but her apartment is trashed, furniture overturned, walls scrawled with "You can't hide." She collapses, overwhelmed. Nate stays with her, promising protection, but Clara feels the walls closing in. Clara's done being prey. She, Nate, and Mia devise a plan to draw Victor out. They leak a story online, claiming Clara's selling the ledger to a rival gang. If Victor wants it, he'll come himself, Nate says. They choose an abandoned warehouse for the showdown, wiring it with cameras and alarms. Clara waits alone, the ledger in her bag, her knife ready. Nate and Mia hide nearby, armed and watching. The air is thick with tension as footsteps echo in the darkness. A man steps into the light, tall, gray hair, cold eyes. Victor Kane. You've been a lot of trouble, Clara, he says, his voice smooth but deadly. Give me the ledger, and this ends. Clara stands tall, her voice steady. You've taken everything from me. Why should I trust you? Victor laughs. You shouldn't, but you're out of options. Clara tosses the ledger, a decoy filled with blank pages. As Victor reaches for it, Nate and Mia spring the trap, but Victor's prepared. Two men emerge, guns drawn. A firefight erupts, and Clara dives for cover, her heart pounding. Nate takes down one man, but the other grazes Mia's leg. Clara tackles Victor, her knife at his throat. Call them off, she screams. Victor smirks. You're just like Daniel said, stubborn. Clara presses the blade harder. This ends now. Victor signals his men to stand down, but as Nate cuffs him, a shot rings out. Clara spins, seeing Mia clutching her chest, blood spreading. No! Clara screams, rushing to her friend. Mia gasps. Finish it, Clara. Her eyes close. Rage consumes Clara. She turns on Victor, but Nate pulls her back.
He's done.
Let the police handle him. Victor's arrested, the ledger's secrets exposed, dismantling his empire. Clara visits Mia in the hospital, where she's stable but weak. You did it, Mia whispers. You're free. Clara nods, but the weight of her losses, her safety, her trust, lingers. She leaves Havenport, heading to an unknown future. The final scene shows her on a train, a new letter in her hand, unopened. She burns it without reading, staring out at the horizon, her face hard with resolve.